Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick, your creativity and spiritual life coach, and welcome to another episode of Higher Energetic Resonance Inspirations. And I'm continuing on for a couple more weeks, talking about the things that I've encountered over my life that have inspired my curiosity and my growth and expansion. And this week I'm talking about breath. And to begin with, a quote from Elsie Lincoln Benedict: "Deep breathing brings deep thinking, and shallow breathing brings shallow thinking." And before going into the episode, I just want to encourage you to join the mailing list. In particular, if you're listening to this week, what I'm going to be doing in this episode is slightly different. At the end of this episode, I'll be including a meditation and breathwork practice that I've previously recorded. And if you've joined the mailing list, you'll have access to the entire playlist of those meditations. And when I created those meditations, I also embedded within the tracks solfeggio frequencies. So with each one, there'll be a specific solfeggio frequency to deepen your experience. And if you've always wanted to be heard in the world, if you're ready to launch your podcast, stepping out on social media, engaging in more public speaking, or simply just being more vocal and more confident in your voice in your life, I've created Your Awakened Voice for you. And this is my course that uses a holistic approach, acknowledging the intricate connection between physical body, mind, and spirit. This course is empowering you to discover and develop your voice. I have a quick question for all my listeners, women over 40 in particular. You know you have decades of wisdom and you're moving now into this new chapter of your life and you feel that you've got something to give. You want to push against these limited narratives that we've been given in society. What would you create in your life if you felt that you embodied the power to realise it? I'm here to support you, trusting your intuition, rediscovering your innate creativity, and creating that vision that you have in your mind. All of the links to everything are in the show notes below. From Sylvia Plath and the Bell Jar. I took a deep breath and listened to the old brag of my heart. I am, I am, I am. There's an interesting thing about breathing because we, to an extent, are doing it all the time, otherwise we wouldn't be functioning. But breathing has more of a depth to it. There is more possibility when it comes to breathing. Personally, I always thought that I knew how to breathe. Obviously, I was alive. But I really discovered the power of breath when I first started singing training, and almost in tandem with that, discovered yoga and doing a lot of yoga. And my interest and my fascination with yoga took me to India in 2017 and doing a month-long teacher training out there. And during that time, there were many classes that were based on pranayama. So I really got to understand the power of breathing, the power of the breath, but also the different breathing patterns. So that, in line with my training and understanding of the technique in breathing when it comes to singing and just projecting the voice, really opened up my mind to what breathing can do. These days, the idea of breath work is more broadly known and more widely accepted so that people are aware of the various forms of deep breathing. So you've got the pranayama, mindfulness breathing, and then the deeper breath work practices, things that have been made popular by people such as Wim Hof. If you listen back to one of the episodes from her conversations, I had on a breathwork practitioner, Teresa Treb. I hope I'm remembering her name correctly. Prior to us recording the episode, she actually gave me a treatment of one of her breathwork practices, which in itself infused so much more than just the transformational breathing, but also brought into it the binaural beats, the deep meditation, the breaking of entrenched beliefs. The psychological benefits of breathwork cannot be ignored. It's helping us to reduce things like stress. It's obviously giving us this increased oxygenation, which I can really attest to, even if I got into a period of singing for any length of time and really deeply breathing. That's where you just get that feeling, that high. As a result, you also have that feeling of overall well-being and just enhanced positivity just from your breath. Being able to lean into and call on your breath, you can use it at times where you might be feeling anxiety. You can be using it for enhancing enhancing your focus. Take a deep breath, take a pause when we're either faced with a situation that's challenging to us, or if we're about to go into a situation that's challenging to us. And then, so how does breath work align with spiritual growth? When you're connecting to the breath, when you're noticing your breath, you can't be anywhere other than with your breath. The idea of things that you have to do or haven't done, or the fact that your mind is all over the place, has to come back to the moment, that present moment, because we're surrounded by so much stimulation. We're surrounded by the urge that we always have to be in action mode. Having that breath work can then facilitate our spiritual growth and awakenings as well, because then as we get more into the present moment, we also are starting to sense more of ourselves, sense into that inner self, sense into also that connection with our divine self, that connection with God. And in your creative endeavors, if you bring in the breath, that can also help to stimulate creativity. First, because you get into that calm state, that more focused state as well. So again, bringing yourself present, so you get past the point of believing that you have any blocks, and you can then be able to be in that moment where you are receiving and being inspired by new ideas. The receiving of those sparks, the receiving of those downloads only ever comes in the present moment when we are here and with ourselves. And using the breath to bring ourselves back to this now moment allows us to receive what is trying to communicate itself to us. And also a beautiful thing about breathing, when you get into that pattern of breathing, that feeling of being present, all of time disappears. And when you're in that state of timelessness, then you enter into a state of flow. And when you're in that flow state, that's when you're finding that you're able to take inspired action without any fear. You find that you're in those most highly productive, most highly natural states. You're just literally channeling from your higher self onto whatever form of expression you're choosing. As I mentioned before, at the end of this episode, there is a gift from me, which is a previously recorded breathwork practice. Again, if you want the full playlist, do join up to the mailing list, and and that will be included in this week's email. There are also other breathing patterns that you can try, but even on a simple basis, things that you can do at every given moment without overcomplicating the breathing. First is being aware of where are you taking the breath. Deep breath is diaphragmatic breathing. That's when you take the breath all the way down the body and aim towards your belly button. That's kind of the easiest way to explain it. Oftentimes when I request that people take a deep breath, their shoulders go up, everything gets tight and really clenched in the neck. And that's not where your breath is. Your breath needs to flow. And if you imagine taking the breath down, filling yourself up from your seat all the way up to your lungs, and allowing yourself to fill yourself up before you then release out, instead of it just being that shallow. Allow the breath to feed and infuse you with the elements of life. You can also try something like a box breathing pattern, where you're breathing in for a certain count, holding for a certain count, and then releasing, exhaling for that similar count as well. And as you get more practiced in that, you can actually increase the numbers that you're doing. Even alternate nose breathing as well. There are so many different patterns, but not to over confuse you, is just to say, think about incorporating breath work into your daily routine. And all this is in moments when you're feeling stressed, in moments where your mind's going astray, just stop and pause and think, I'm going to breathe. I'm just going to breathe. And doesn't have to turn into a big practice, but for the next 10 seconds, you're just going to notice your breath coming in and out of your body, so that you can recenter yourself to whatever is distracting you at that moment in time. As with anything that we do, as with anything that we want to incorporate into our life, the more that we can be consistent with that, the more that we're going to benefit. It'll become part of who we are and what we do, and we'll be able to grow as a result of bringing it to ourselves. You pledge to yourself that you're going to focus on the breath. And that can be first thing in the morning when you open your eyes and you think before you get out of bed, and most definitely before you pick up your phone, is to just spend 30 seconds to a minute just noticing the breath and really realizing that you've woken up. Take the power of life into you before you step out into your world. And to leave, I leave a quote from Andrea Boydston. If you woke up breathing, congratulations, you have another chance. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review, and you can find out more about me on carolmaywhittick.com, on Facebook and LinkedIn Carol May Whittick, and Kazmic, Cazmick, on Instagram. So as promised, I leave you with expansion. Our expansion reminds us of our union with universal consciousness, intuitive knowledge and love, where everything is possible. We are supported, allowing ourselves to be and releasing the need to do. We easily observe ourselves, our reactions and our emotions, and can therefore appreciate and respect the journey of those in our lives and honour the choices they make, recognising that all is well. This practice is Om chanting or Ugdith Pranayama. Om is the sacred sound of the divine and represents the sound of the universe. The chanting of Om connects us to this energy. It is beneficial for spiritual growth. It fills our body with energy, peace, and tranquility. The solfeggio frequency is 963 Hertz, which takes us to the highest plane of consciousness and connects us with the perfection of the universe. Find yourself in a seated position. You can be sitting on a chair or cross-legged on the ground. And just welcome relaxation into your entire body. During this practice, we will be vocalizing, chanting the word Om. Om itself is broken down into 3 parts: Ah, Oo, and And with each recitation of Om, we will take a deep diaphragmatic breath and move the Ah, the Oo, and the up through the body. To explain, when we chant Ah, we'll experience the vibration around your navel and abdomen area, and this vibrates the lower chakras. We can try 3 times just to demonstrate. You should feel the vibration in the lower part of your body around your navel and abdominal area. Oo is pronounced as oo, and when you chant oo, you'll experience the vibration in and around your chest cavity, activating the middle chakras. To demonstrate, oo. Is pronounced as When you chant you'll experience the vibration in and around your throat and in your head and your upper chakras. to demonstrate. Each arm will be done on a single breath. We'll take in a deep diaphragmatic breath down to the body. And as you pronounce each syllable, the ah, the oo, the you will exhale and also imagine and envisage the energy moving up through the body and through the chakras. We'll practice this for 10 rounds. Breathe in. And let's practice another 10 rounds to close this session. This time I will take the pace just a little bit slower so that we can get a deeper feeling of the movement of the resonance of through our body and our connection with the universe. feel where you are in your mind, your body, your spirit. Recognize the expansion and the connection that you now have. I will leave you to meditate.